Do you know how many people pass away each year? In 2020, there were over 61 million deaths worldwide, which is equivalent to about 170,000 people every single day. While death is a natural part of life, we don't like to talk about it or think about it too often. But the reality is that none of us knows how much time we have left to spend with our loved ones. And it's always better to be prepared for any eventuality. One way to try and prepare is by learning how to recognize the signs that someone may be nearing the end of their life. That way you can make sure you spend your remaining time together as meaningfully as possible. With that said, here are 5 subtle signs an elderly person is in their final year of life. Number 1, they have frequent health problems. As we age, it's normal to experience more health problems than when we were younger. However, if an elderly person starts having frequent health problems, this could be a sign that they're in their final year of life. This is because generally as we approach the end of our lives, our bodies become more frail and we're more susceptible to illness and disease. Additionally, when we're nearing the end of our lives, our organs start to shut down one by one, which can lead to a number of health problems. For example, the kidneys are one of the first organs to go, followed by the liver and then the heart. So if an elderly person in your life has been experiencing frequent health problems lately, especially with their kidneys, liver, or heart, this could be a sign that they're in their final year of life. Of course, this isn't always the case, and not everyone will experience health problems as they near the end of their lives. But it's definitely worth keeping an eye out for. If you notice that an elderly person you know is experiencing more health problems than usual, it's important to talk to them about what their wishes are. When it comes to end-of-life care, that way you can make sure they get the care they want during this difficult time. Know, too, they have lost their appetite. If an elderly person in your life has lost their appetite, this could be a sign that they're in their final year of life. This is because when we approach the end of our lives, our bodies start to shut down, and we become less and less interested in food. In fact, it's common for people who are nearing the end of their lives to eat only a few bites of food per day, or even just a few bites per week. If this happens, it's important to make sure the person is getting the nutrients they need. This can be done by offering them small meals throughout the day that are high in protein and calories. You can also try different foods and flavors to see what the person is in the mood for. Just be patient and keep trying. The person may not want to eat very much, but every little bit helps. Eventually, the person will stop eating altogether. Now, when this happens, it's important to continue offering fluids to keep the person hydrated. Eventually, the person will stop drinking altogether. When this happens, it's important to let nature take its course. The person will die peacefully. In most cases, it's best to avoid medical intervention at this stage, as it can prolong the dying process and cause unnecessary suffering. Number 3, they are more forgetful than usual. As we all know, aging is a natural process that we all have to go through. And as we get older, our bodies and minds start to change. One of the most common changes that occurs with aging is a decline in cognitive function. This means that older people are generally more forgetful than younger people. However, if an elderly person suddenly becomes more forgetful than usual, this could be a sign that they're in their final year of life. This is because when we approach the end of our lives, our brains start to shut down. This can lead to a number of cognitive changes, including more forgetfulness. So if you've noticed that an elderly person in your life has become more forgetful than usual, this could be a sign that they're in their final year of life. It's important to note that not everyone will become more forgetful as they approach the end of their lives. But it's definitely something to keep an eye out for. If you do notice that an elderly person you know is becoming more forgetful than usual, it's important to be patient and understanding. They're likely going through a difficult time and need your support. There are also a number of resources available to help both the elderly person and their caregivers cope with this forgetfulness. Know, for their skin changes. Someone is in their final year of life, their skin may change in several ways. The skin may become thinner, more fragile, and more dry. This is because as we age, our bodies produce less oil, which can lead to dry skin. Additionally, the skin may start to take on a yellowish hue. This is due to a number of factors, including age, decreased blood flow, and liver disease. Another common skin change in someone's final year of life is the development of bruising. This is because, as we age, our skin becomes thinner and more fragile. As a result, it bruises more easily. Additionally, people in their final year of life may be less active, which can lead to decreased blood flow and increased bruising. Finally, the skin of someone in their final year of life may start to discolor. This is due to a number of factors, including decreased blood flow, liver disease, and kidney disease. In general, skin changes are not a cause for concern. However, if you notice any changes in someone's skin, it's always best to check in with them and make sure everything is okay. 5. Their sleep patterns change. As we age, our sleep patterns naturally change. We tend to sleep less at night and take more naps during the day. However, if an elderly person in your life suddenly starts sleeping more during the day and less at night, this could be a sign that they're in their final year of life. This is because when we approach the end of our lives, our bodies start to shut down. This can lead to changes in our sleep patterns, including more daytime sleeping and less nighttime sleeping. Additionally, people who are nearing the end of their lives often have trouble sleeping soundly. This is due to a number of factors, including pain, anxiety, and the natural changes that occur in our bodies as we age. If you notice that an elderly person in your life is changing sleeping habits, it's important to be patient and understanding. They may be going through a difficult time and need your support. You can also try to help them get into a regular sleep schedule by encouraging them to sleep at the same time each night and avoid napping during the day. Ultimately, though, it's up to each individual person how they choose to live out their final days, and we should all strive to be respectful and supportive of their decisions. It's important to remember that these are just general guidelines, and not everyone will experience all or even any of these symptoms as they approach the end of their lives. Some people will have a sudden decline in health, while others will slowly decline over a period of years. Ultimately, the best way to know if someone is in their final year of life is to talk to them and their loved ones. Of course, it can be a difficult conversation to have, but it's important to be prepared so you can make sure you spend your remaining time together as meaningfully as possible. Did you find this video helpful? Tell us in the comments below. Please like and share it with friends that might find use in this video too. Make sure to subscribe for more content. All the references used are added in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.